that operate inside of substations that are not manned. If those relays do not operate properly, you've got big problems. The transformers are not protected from the surges as the network goes down.
Today's military rely on commercial electric power in order for any of its forces outside of its strategic forces to function. Without electric power, troops can't move, aircraft cannot deliver supplies, equipment can't even be fueled. Battlefield communications, the trump card for the American fighting forces, would become non-existent.
In our view, the modern society is characterized by the presence of three things: clean available water, properly functioning sewage and sanitation services, and electricity. And I would further assert that because the first two systems rely on electricity to function, we really at base need electricity to have a modern society.
The trend in this country is toward ever more sophisticated electronic systems. The increasing dependence of the United States on an electronic economy increases the vulnerability of the banking and financial infrastructure to the effects of electromagnetic pulse.
With appropriate technical actions, worst-case EMP effects can be somewhat, if not substantially, mitigated. It takes focused leadership, some resources, but most of all, coordinated actions across the Congress, the industries that are involved here, and in particular, I think, getting first-tier industries involved, incentivized and resourced, and especially the executive branch departments to achieve real and substantial actions on mitigating and hardening.
I think in some ways the conference was magical. It brought together Americans who some had national reputations. Governor Huckabee came. He's not an expert on EMP, but he certainly is an experienced governor. And of course he was a presidential candidate, and he's a concerned American. Well, we had many others, and they were all experts, really. Most of the others were experts in this field. And I think if there's anything that has come out of, on the positive side from all this, a positive side meaning the joyous side, if we can talk about it that way, it's been the association with the great men and women who are trying to save our country. America, despite what many people may have, well, some people may think, it's a really special place. I think Abe Lincoln said something about it. You know, it's the great hope of mankind. And I truly know that to be so. I actually watched as the planes attacked the World Trade Center, and I wasn't right there, but I was in Queens at a high spot, and I didn't see the first one, but I saw the second one, and I saw the results of the first one. I felt immediately it was a terrorist attack. And of course, when the second one happened, I certainly understood that. And I continue to believe after that we'll be in continuous danger. And thank God that at least the government acted on that threat. Our harbors and our ports of entry are much safer than what they were. They're not safe, but they're much safer. There is an ongoing continuous program that Homeland Security is involved in. We don't have that involving EMP, unfortunately, and we need it desperately. It's even more important. But at least we see that happened. The destruction of a major city like New York, or the attack upon a major city like New York with a nuclear weapon, would be a catastrophe, but it would be small by comparison to an EMP event. Because an EMP event over a wide enough part of the United States, or the entire continental United States, would shut down the country. As much as an attack upon a city would be a catastrophe, we can't even relate to what it would be to have a major part or all of the country shut down. And that's what we're faced with here. And I would say it is, based on all of the experts that we had at our conference and the many things that we've learned since then, we have a greater likelihood of having an EMP attack upon the United States than we did in having the attack on the World Trade Center. It's in greater danger today than it has ever been. That's not my view. I mean, that's the view of people who have deep knowledge.
The other significant threat to the grid is the threat of a physical event that could come in the form of a natural or man-made electromagnetic pulse known as EMP. The potentially devastating effects of an EMP to the grid are well documented.
I think it is the most gratifying thing in my life to see how a group of people have come together. Some of them are working for us full-time, and many of them as volunteers to find ways to alert America and to get something done. And they certainly have gotten something done. Legislation has just passed the House this summer by unanimously passed the House to harden the grid. It's now in the Senate. We hope the same thing will happen. We hope the President will sign it, and we hope that we'll put it together on a, as I say, on a wartime basis, because we certainly have the need of doing that. We have ongoing and continuous efforts on the part of Peter Pry and many others to influence people at all levels in government. We have our team here in Western New York has worked with our local communities and has put together state legislation, which we hope will pass about this issue. We've had the town boards and their organization go ahead and back these efforts. We have a radio show that's only a few months old, but every week it's growing in popularity. And the speakers that are coming on are all highly respected. And it's getting more and more attention. It's being felt in Washington. Letters are being written. Other contacts are being made. Impact America's role is primarily education. And it's not just education to our fellow citizens here in Western New York, but it's also to our legislators and other government officials. You can do enormous good for our country. I believe that if we don't do the things that are necessary to prepare our country to survive and rebuild an EMP event, whether it's a nuclear EMP event or a naturally occurring one from solar activity, that the chance of our country literally losing our civilization, our nation literally facing a catastrophic collapse, is very great, and that we must act now. My name is Henry Schwartz, and I'm the founder and chairman of Impact America. I encourage you to learn all you can, to watch the videos and read the material, and then do something about it.